4. Okay.
I go first? Hello and welcome to another episode of Queer Peer Reviews, where we review queer media, good, bad, and ugly. I'm your host, Jamie. Today with me is my co-host, Bruce.
Here at Queer Peer Reviews, we review your favorites and not so favorites form of media, going from books, movies, and video games.
And on today's episode of Queer Peer Reviews, we are reviewing the 2023 Game of the Year,
Baldur's Gate 3.
For those of you who don't know, Baldur's Gate is based off of Dungeons and Dragons, but it's such an amazing game. I am so, heavily involved in this game.
Yeah,
I cannot stop playing it.
as someone who has never played D&D in the first time, and I wasn't unsure to play this game, even though everybody was giving great reviews about it, and I seen clips. I wasn't sure myself because I never played D&D.
Yeah, the amount of storytelling, the amount of possibilities you can do.
It is insane.
You're gonna want to make more than one character in this game.
From what I have heard, there's over hundreds of hours of different dialogue.
It took me over 100 hours to get to Act 2.
Yeah, because there's so much to do, so much interaction, so much secret weapons.
Just all the characters are just so well developed, and there's so much time that went into making this game. It's insane.
And yeah, the combat is a lot more fun, especially how freeing it is. There's so many ways you can play this game. For instance, if you're in a room full of a hell of a lot of enemies, one way you could handle you can just spend the next hour or two trying to clear out the whole room, or you can just speed it up by doing this.
Commit a war crime.
Basically. And that's what I love about the game, because I held that rune powder for so long and I saw the opportunity and I took it.
And the amount of time, I would say I have 3 characters that are kind of fully developed and have made it past a certain point in the game. But every time I watch a TikTok or a YouTube video, I discover something completely new that I never saw.
I've saved so many videos right now of certain secret weapons. One of my favorite weapons now is the trident you get from the genie. And it's my favorite because when you throw it, it causes also radius damage and it comes back to you. So that's one of my top favorite weapons at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It does look really cool. I do have to get it for myself. But again, we are Queer Peer Reviews and we review things that have queer representation. And not only does it range from your character that you make yourself, but there's a lot of queer representation in the game itself. But we're gonna start with character customization.
When it comes to character customization, I'll be fair. The only thing restricted so far are the faces. You kind of only have to choose preset faces.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 6, but
I would have loved to at least maybe switch to some chi. That's the only thing. But everything else you can switch from. Gender, there's male, female, and non-binary.
I love that they even included non-binary. That's amazing.
Yeah, and even if your body is feminine or masculine, you could also change the genitals too if that's your preference. You
can have facial hair as a feminine presenting character. You could have all these different hairstyles, and it's just great because I feel I spend a lot of time just in character customization.
I did, and then I realized you had the Guardian one, and I was like... And the best part too is no matter which gender customization characters, your romance options are anyone.
And you could argue that all of the companions are either bi or pan, and even if they're not all pan in your head, you could say that, for example, you can say Lae'zel is straight, and that can be
fine.
Correct. Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't have a definition of any of the companion sexualities.
And not to sound bad, but unlike in Cyberpunk, when I'm going to reference another game, Cyberpunk, their romance is kind of more limited because the characters you romance are strictly either straight or gay, and that's it. There's no in between for them. But here in Baldur's Gate, you could romance anybody.
Yeah, that's what I really like about a lot of games nowadays, specifically RPGs, is that all of the companions, if they are romanceable, they can do any character.
You want to be a gay couple with Gale? You can do that.
You want to be a straight couple with Lae'zel? That's fine. You want to be in a poly couple with Halsin and Astarion? Even better.
Yeah.
And some of you may be wondering who our favorite romanceable companion is. It's Karlach.
That was my first campaign romance. It was practically my mission.
Karlach's personality, she is so cool. All of them have really great personalities, and it's just amazing.
And Astarion, he's one of the funniest characters to have in your party because he makes all these outright like comments so sarcastically. And and also a quick shout out to
Neil Newbon.
because he won for best was it supporting? No,
I think it was
best voice actor. Right?
Best voice actor,
Yeah, he won
yeah.
best voice actor. So congratulations to him. And honestly, and I think he earned it because
Oh yeah, I mean, if you look, even if you haven't progressed that far in the game, if you look up these clips of Astarians acting during like the Cazador battle,
that was
really great stuff. And speaking of Neil Newbon, while his sexuality isn't really confirmed either, that's totally fine, but he even confirmed himself as Astarian's voice actor that Astarian is pan. And he himself is also a really big supporter of the LGBTQ+ community.
I feel like that's canon for almost any vampire.
And Karlach's voice actor, Samantha Bayard, also identifies as queer non-binary and goes by they, them. They went on like a bunch of interviews saying like, I think the directors told them you can portray Karlach in any way you want. And they were like, yeah, this is Karlach. Karlach is queer. Karlach is just this big like golden retriever character.
The little idol dance. She does. Jennifer English, who voices Shadowheart, she does have a girlfriend. So
Who she met on set. Her name is Aliana, and she was the performance director. I just thought it was really cute because all the interviews about like, what was your best experience working on Baldur's Gate? She always goes, meeting my girlfriend. Very cute. But yeah, it's really nice to see that there are people who are queer in the cast of Baldur's Gate because it is such an inclusive game.
now, we talked about in real life queer representation. Let's talk about what's really in the game besides our romances.
Not only is it queer characters that you in your head decide are queer, such as your own character or your romanceable companion, there's also a lot of canon queer characters in the game.
Such as Dame Aelin and Isabel. The two literally power couple.
Our favorite lesbian power couple. Did you know there are mods of people removing them as being queer in the game? Like, it totally deletes that scene of them kissing when they're reunited.
Yeah.
Insane.
You know, guys, you could just not play the game and play something else like Call of Duty Modern Warfare and have fun there, while we have better fun over here.
But yeah, their story is really cute. All the, like, the lore behind, like, both of them thinking the other was dead, and then if you, depending on your choices, you reunite them, they share this really cute kiss. And there's also more stuff that happens later in the game, like in terms of like Dame Aelin defending her and like being big top energy.
Very much
Big
so.
top energy.
Oh yeah, and like her comments, so like when you one of her comments was just like, I was like, now if you excuse me, I have to go catch up. And every part of her body, and she's like, Aelin.
That's a lot of years of catching up. You know, good for Isabel. Good for her. But anyway, not only are Dame Aelin and Isabel confirmed queer characters, you also have Lacrissa and Alfira, the two tieflings from the Grove. If you successfully reunite them in Act 2, you can find them again at the Elf Song Tavern in Act 3. You go up to the roof and you learn that the two of them have been like, Lacrissa has been working at the bar, that way she can support Alfira in her music career. And there's this cute little cutscene, if you talk to them a second time, where Alfira is looking out into the sunset saying, I love the view, and Lacrissa's looking at Alfira going, so do I. And
That
it's
is
so
so
cute.
It's even cuter for her. If you play the Dirge run, you get even a better ending for Alfira.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
Guys, go to play the Dirge run. You have a better ending for Alfira. Trust me. There's nothing wrong. Put deception. Put deception check. Hold on. 13. Good enough.
And then with Astarion, I don't know if you talked to that one guy, Sebastian, who was in that one cage.
Oh my god.
Like, Astarion would, like, seduce and lure men, like, down for Cazador. And then I think Sebastian even makes a comment about how Astarion, when he first lured him, was like, have you ever been kissed? And he said no, and Astarion was like, well, I could teach you how, or something like that. Along with bigger characters, there are also random NPCs in the city that you could see. I don't know if you've encountered any of them. There's a gay couple at the bar, the same bar if you romance Karlach, you have your date there. If you go there, there's like these two guys. One of them is trying to do something, and the other guy, if you talk to him, he's like, don't bother me and my sweetheart, we're busy.
In the date romance?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say I've
it's the
never
same location as the date.
Oh.
Yeah, if you go back there's 2 guys on the balcony.
And there's also at the carnival, there's like a possible drag queen. They're teaching a bunch
yeah.
of skeletons how to dance. It was very, like,
If it's not, if they're not actually a drag queen, it's definitely heavily implied.
definitely heavily implied. Like, if you know what a drag queen is, you could tell it's a drag queen.
That is drag queen coded, 100%. And then there's also in the Mermaid Tavern, I forget what the name of it is really called, but there's a woman upstairs arguing with her father who's trying to like set up an arranged marriage. That.
Is that Act 3?
Yeah, that's Act 3.
I've never seen there.
Yeah, if you go upstairs, there's somebody talking, but basically they're talking about how she's happy with her partner, and she describes a woman, which I thought was really cool. It's like, yes, more queer representation. Like they sprinkle in it everywhere. Like they purposely wrote all these characters like this.
I still don't get how other people think, because it's a fantasy world. There's like supposed to be straight people. I think they're weird.
Yeah.
This is the most inclusive world.
Oh yeah, it's a fantasy world. Like,
Unless you play as a
there's
drow, you're gonna get hella racism as a drow. I've learned that. Unless you're a drow, you're gonna have a horrible experience.
if you like that. But yeah, if we didn't already sell you on Baldur's Gate, just the fact that it's Game of the Year is absolutely astonishing. And it came out during like the last few months of the year too. So if it was able to get that popular that quick, I think you should give it a chance.
And for those Spider-Man fans who are angry about like not that winning Game of the Year, as someone who also played Spider-Man, I finished that game within the week. Baldur's Gate 3, I'm still not even done with Act 3, and I'm still enjoying it. So
The replayability is also
it's
just,
very high.
ooh.
I only played Spider-Man 2 once, but this one, I ended up making like 2 more characters.
There'll be more to come, I can
Very much
guarantee it.
more.
All right, so let's get to our ratings. Let's start with the representation.
For representation, we give it a... I mean...
I only gave it a 9.9 because we're missing a 1. So technically this is a 10, but we'll just keep the 9.9 in there.
I mean, you know, you can romance anybody. You can even romance a Mind Flayer.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Which I did for the achievement.
Anything is possible in a fantasy game like this, and just the fact that they queer-coded, not even queer-coded, they canonically wrote in queer characters, not even just main NPCs, but just like background people too. Like they thought of it all. And the fact that like character customization, like you can be non-binary, is awesome.
Yeah, and they use the pronouns they, them, and all that. It's very unique. Next up, queer comfort.
And for queer comfort, we give it 9.8.
Me too.
Oh.
It's such a comfort game, especially in Act 1. Act 1 and Act 2 are mostly Act 1 is very comforting. Act 3 gets very overwhelming, but
it is very overwhelming. Yeah, I've been in Act 3 for quite some time now, and I keep finding stuff. And in my first playthrough, of course, I want to do everything. That way I can know what's important for next time. But I'm just like, this is a lot. But I would say, I mean, it's a comfort game, I would definitely say. But there is like lots of gore and like violence and stuff, which I mean isn't a bad thing. A lot of people do like violent games and stuff.
I think you also have the option to turn that off too, so...
Yeah, you do. I like how they have like sensitivity, like options.
It's also funny how like before you sleep you have like a lot of blood on you and it just shows it every time dialogue.
Yeah. Oh, something you didn't mention in the actual review, for those who are asexual, you don't have, like, if you have a companion that you want to, like, romance, you don't have to, like, have sex with them. There's options to, like, hug and, like, instead of kiss and stuff like that.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, you can have romantic relationships minus, like, the sex and stuff. Something for everybody out there.
So a little for something for everybody.
Yeah.
It really makes you feel like a queer character.
This queer game really makes me feel like a queer.
It's got the exaggerated swagger of a D&D player.
Next up is writing.
For writing, we give it A.
I give it a 10.
There's so much writing involved in this.
So much.
I wonder how long it took for them to fully flesh out every branch of possibilities before they were like, okay, now let's make the game happen.
Yeah, and like the amount of fail safes they wrote into like this game are amazing. Like you're supposed to do a mission a certain way, but you mess it all up, you accidentally killed off one of those characters. They have a replacement character and a replacement for the replacement character, and they have all this dialogue if you do things differently. It's just, they thought of everything.
What's an example?
Like for example, if Zevlor dies before like the goblin battle, there's another NPC that comes to replace him that you can meet later in the game, but instead of meeting her later, you meet her now. And it's really cool.
Huh.
And if you kill as the Dark Urge, spoiler alert, if the Dark Urge kills Alfira before she visits him in camp, they replace Alfira's death with this other character. Like another character comes to your camp as a bard. It's like, oh, I found your camp, I want to become a musician, can I travel with you? It's wild. There's so many different things.
I told you there was a good ending for the Dirge run. And also the background stories for every of the characters is so well done.
Yes.
And how everything connects well in like Act 3, like I was staring with Cazador. Like everybody's kind of a mystery in the beginning a bit. Like except for Carl, like Carl just tells you. Yeah. But like Shadowheart, as soon as you get like more spoiler alert, like when I found out that the parents were still alive, I was like, what? Yes. Like it was so crazy, like it's so well done, and the villains as well, like Orin and Gortash.
Yeah, there's a reason why this game took years and years and years to.
Yeah, because they had to. Like I said, I don't know how many hours of voice recording these they had to do.
Not only the companions dialogue and other NPCs, but the narrator. She had so many different I think that one has the most lines of anybody. Like think of like a tree or like a plant and like the roots and how the roots branch off and have other roots. That's what this game is.
What I imagine is like they're probably in the voice studio like maybe 5 times a week for a whole month.
Maybe a whole year, maybe.
Half a year, maybe. I don't know. Next up, Originality.
So for Originality, I give it a 9.
Now I'm no stranger to turn-based combat. I played the South Park game that does turn-based combat. That's just that was like the only introduction to turn-based.
Mine was Final Fantasy X.
Yeah. So, but Baldur's Gate does it a little more differently, and it's such a fun way. Like I mentioned, it was such fun ways to do it, and I know like how the essence of a D&D game is usually. It's never as taken as seriously. Like it's always just, it's not like serious. It's like there's always some like comedic timing with this. Like for instance, like when you're fighting like a big bad evil, I was like, oh, we're gonna take a glorious fight, or you could just shove him off a cliff. Here's a clip of me doing that to Minthara. I just pushed her off and I won. It's like, this game is not as serious as you take it.
Yeah.
Until you get to like, I think the most serious scenes I could think of is like when you with your companions. Like Karlach's whole speech after killing Gortash is like very touching. Yeah. Or Astarion with Cazador is, that's what I love. I feel like a more connection with these characters. And that's something I never expected from a turn-based combat game. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, same. I am no stranger to turn-based combat games. I've also never played D&D myself before. I've come very close multiple times, but plans always fall through. Again, like this is based off of D&D. It has lots and lots of lore from like actual D&D. Like my friend Lewis, who we've seen on the show, he plays D&D, and he's like, oh yeah, like this is this, and he was able to explain so many things because of knowing D&D, which is really cool that they were able to incorporate so many different things while also being very unique on its own.
Next up, overall.
And for our overall feelings towards Baldur's Gate, it's no surprise.
These?
10.
9.9.
Is it like an honorary 10 or is it a 9.9 for like?
I just wanted to be a little different.
You want to be a little different?
Yeah. It's still high, very high number. It's such a great game. I haven't even finished the game, but it's still so much fun. I spend most of my time just trying to find like the best gear before I officially end the game, which will be a minute because it's like I don't even want to let go of my characters that I worked so hard with.
I don't want to finish the game because I don't want to let her go either.
It's like,
So sad.
I worked with this character and now I gotta like finish it? But then there's the epilogue.
There's the epilogue.
And I want to see the epilogue afterwards. So,
Can
yeah.
always reload. But yeah, I'm a creature of habit. I love games where there's different possibilities because replayability. I love being able to customize characters, so it checked all the boxes for me. I love fantasy games. I love just all the possibilities and stuff. And like I said, replayability. I know I'm not going to be able to, but I want to make a character for each class. I want to experience each class, each romance, each everything. And it's going to take a lot of time.
Very much.
All right, so let's get to our QPR total. Baldur's Gate 3 gets a 97.4 out of 100, which is no surprise at all.
It is very much a gay plus.
Yep. I can go on and on about this game, but I won't. But anyway, guys, don't forget to check out the links in our bio, links to the Trevor Project, as well as our social media pages. Don't forget to subscribe.
And check out the game.
Yeah, check out the game.
You know what? I'm gonna go play it.
I'm gonna play it now too.
All right, bye. See ya.